All right, so moving on to the final segment, I'll be sharing my thoughts on Canelo Alvarez ducking a rematch with Dmitry Bivol and ducking a fight with David Benavidez. So yes, Canelo Alvarez, if you guys remember, I straight said after he fought John Ryder on the podcast a month ago after Cinco de Mayo weekend, yes, you got your tune-up fight. Yes, you got your big-time moment back in your home country in Mexico. Yes, you got it all. But it's time to get back down to business. You got to fight A-plus fighters. And I said by the end of the year, Canelo Alvarez should either be fighting Dmitry Bivol or David Benavidez. And it looks like he's not going to be fighting either one of these individuals by the end of 2023. And that is a huge letdown for the sport of boxing that it has been delivering this year. And the so-called face of boxing is not here to do his part and deliver and give the fans what they want. So, Michael Benson, who is a true great boxing source, broke the news on Twitter that the news broke that Dmitry Bivol versus Canelo Alvarez rematch is officially off the table. Now that Dmitry Bivol will chase an opportunity at becoming he will chase the opportunity of fighting for a undisputed championship fight with the unified champion Arthur Benavidez at 175 pounds. So Dmitry, and this has been so interesting to me because we've seen ever since that Canelo Alvarez lost to Dmitry Bivol last May in 2022, Cinco de Mayo weekend, that he has instated that every chance he's gotten, he's always said, Bivol next, Bivol next, Bivol next. We saw it in the trilogy against Triple G. He wanted the Bivol. Then he comes back for his hand injury. You fight Ryder. He's still talking about he wants Dmitry Bivol. Now you had the chance to fight him on Independence weekend for Mexicans, for the country of Mexico in September, and you failed to give the boxing fans not really the boxing fans, but failed what you have been promoting over the last year, a rematch with Dmitry Bivol. And I don't blame Dmitry Bivol. He has every reason to not pursue another fight with Canelo Alvarez due to Canelo Alvarez's demands. You lost the first fight. You got dominated the first fight. You cannot go out there and demand and calling the shots again. You cannot say you want the same rematch at 175 pounds again with Dmitry Bivol at a shot at his WBA championship again at 175 pounds. It don't work like that. You lost, and you lost in dominating fashion by unanimous decision. And Canelo Alvarez wants that rematch at 175 against Dmitry Bivol. Please tell me why. Why do you want to go back up to 175? Clearly, you didn't look comfortable. Clearly, you look gassed. Clearly, you look fatigued. Clearly, that is not the weight class that you should belong at. You're good at the super middleweight division, 168 pounds. There's no reason for you to go up. You go down, but there's no reason for you to go up. And we clearly saw that last May. He got crushed, looked uncomfortable, and got dominated. There's no reason that you need or deserve another shot at that 175-pound championship, WBA championship against Bivol. And if a rematch were to happen, Dmitry Bivol treated it the right way. Canelo Alvarez went up and challenged me for my championship. Why can't I go down and challenge you for your undisputed championships 168 pounds? Why is Canelo Alvarez turning that down? Why is Canelo Alvarez only interested in doing it his terms? He did his terms when he fought Bivol the first time. Why can't Bivol come down and do your terms and get an undisputed championship fight? Something that would be bigger the second time around because there's more championships at stake. The pressure would be more on Canelo to deliver and rewrite his wrong, his second career loss. The storyline's there. The money, the payday's there. The big time fight is there. Why are you not doing an undisputed championship fight? And honestly, Bivol is smart. He already proved his point against Canelo. If he's not getting what he wants, there's no reason for a rematch. And that's how I feel about it. I do believe that Dmitry Bivol and his team are going the right way. If you can't get an undisputed championship fight against the man that wants a rematch against you that you dominated the first time around, do not give him a rematch for your championship again. Go pursue the undisputed championship fight against Arthur Benavidez at 175 pounds. Great decision by Team Dmitry Bivol. But then that brings me to the next occasion. Canelo Alvarez ducked David Benavidez. who has been the WBC mandatory for a very long time. It's gotten to the point where David Benavidez is the freaking the interim WBC champion right now at the 168-pound division. That's how long he's been the mandatory for Canelo Alvarez. But David Benavidez, some people don't believe these reports. Yes, after the David Benavidez and Caleb Plant fight, yes, there was a plan to fight David Morrell next. But the camp and his team and David Benavidez has always wanted to fight with Canelo. If they got that fight with Canelo, which they were trying to do, David Morrell could have waited until after that fight against Canelo Alvarez. That fight wasn't going anywhere. David Morrell is fresh into the sport of boxing. He's one of the best prospects. He's a big-time fighter. That's a 50-50 fight between him and David Benavidez. But obviously, that fight against Morrell could have waited. If Canelo, you could get a fight against a prime, well, I shouldn't say a prime, but a Canelo Alvarez where he is still the face of boxing. I would get that right now. And I do believe that David Benavidez's goal was to fight Canelo Alvarez this one time instead of fighting David Morrell. But David Benavidez's team sent Canelo Alvarez a contract offer. Canelo Alvarez did not answer to the contract for 2 going on 3 weeks, and that is the reason why David Benavidez's team moved in the direction to fight David Morrell next in the fall. But can the PBC, Showtime, wanted this fight wanted to see in September between David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez, Independence Day weekend for the Hispanic culture, 2 Mexicans getting it on between Canelo Alvarez and the Mexican monster and David Benavidez. PBC Productions was going to give a $50 million deal to Canelo Alvarez and to have him fight on a 3-fight deal with the PBC. So, and nobody out there can say the PBC don't got the money for that. They made boatload of money off of that David Benavidez and Caleb Plant fight. They made boatload of money for that Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia fight. And they're going to make a boatload of money off the Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford fight in July. So the PBC, don't say that they didn't offer that. I believe they definitely offered that. They got the funds right now because they're the ones giving us the big-time fights as well this year. So, David Benavidez, you turned down one of your biggest paydays of your illustrious career, $50 million, to potentially fight the next big thing in the sport of boxing, David Benavidez, and you don't take it. You don't answer the phone call. You don't answer the contract offer. You don't even acknowledge the contract offer. And that's why David Benavidez, I believe, is fighting David Morrell next in the fall. So this is truly a letdown for Canelo Alvarez. He should be fighting David Benavidez or Dmitry Bivol by the end of the year. There's no excuses. No excuses whatsoever why he's not fighting those 2 individuals by the end of the year. But it now appears that Canelo Alvarez is obsessed with fighting C-plus fighters, and he's going to continue to do that. He fought John Ryder Cinco de Mayo weekend, and it seems like if you love Canelo Alvarez, get ready. His next opponent will be a C-plus fighter. Somebody that does not respectfully belong in the ring with Canelo Alvarez, because that's the route that he's taken in 2023. When this is the year that boxing is coming back to life. This is the year of boxing where we're seeing 50-50 fights all over the map, all over the globe in the sport of boxing. And the face of boxing is not interested in being a part of the big-time fights, the 50-50 fights that the sport of boxing is doing. Okay. If that's your guys' face of boxing, be my guest. But I'm taking that title away from Canelo Alvarez. Yes, the media is going to always view Canelo Alvarez he will always be a box office attraction. And yes, he is the face of boxing, but I don't view him as that anymore. Until I see him get back into fighting A-plus competition and not serving and protecting himself from suffering a third career loss, I can't give you that crown as the face of boxing, because this is the time where anybody in the world is calling out Canelo Alvarez. Not just at the 168-pound division, but everybody wants a piece of Canelo from all weight classes. Everybody wants a piece of Canelo now. And for you to sit there and decline while you're still the face of boxing fighting these 2 guys, it's just a shame. And if he continues to duck A-plus competition, he needs to be stripped of his titles. He needs to be stripped of each title one by one individually if he's going to continue to duck mandatories. That would not be the first time that Canelo Alvarez has been stripped of a title. Just a few years back, he was stripped of his IBF championship at a 160-pound division because he failed to fight his mandatories. Every sanction needs to crack down on this if Canelo Alvarez does not fight a big name by the end of the year. Start stripping him one by one. WBA, WBO, IBF, WBC. Everybody needs to start stripping him one by one individually if he's going to continue to duck mandatories. But those are my thoughts on Canelo Alvarez, ducking Dmitry Bivol, and ducking David Benavidez. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. There's your host, Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.